Speak out. I'm sick. I'm torched. I'm not feeling motivated and my work is killing me. So let's do a show. Why not, right? We're going to hit a few clips, a couple articles, none of which will be of interest to you. So keep on scrolling by. There's nothing here for you. Welcome aboard. Cat in a Hat getting censored. We'll get into that later. But be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Dr. Seuss. Now, am I getting trolled, or is this a real quote? I've seen this quote before. The Bible is next. Right? Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and the like. Next thing you know, the Bible is going to be banned from stores because it's obviously hate speech and racist. Right? And don't, not to mention disinformation. If you put it on YouTube, they'll shut you down for disinformation. I was shut down for disinformation for carrying the Trump speech 2 days after it was live. It's CPAC. It's not copyrighted. Deceptive practices for a Trump speech at CPAC. I even checked, it was on 100 channels. I haven't checked to see that it's still on those 100 channels, but it was on Fox's channel. Another strike. So you're probably watching me. If you're watching me on YouTube, you're watching the Jim Fannon Show. The page on Jim Fannon Show with 40 subs instead of Trew.Tube, where I normally broadcast from with 170 odd subs, which is good for me considering the channel's only 5 months old. And the 6th channel since they cut me. Anyways, we're not going through that again, are we? I thought if there was a third accuser, this guy was going to have to kiss it. Kiss his job goodbye, that is. Third woman accuses Cuomo. Says he has to kiss her. Now, I loathe this man. Is loathe the right word? I don't hate him. He, to me, is super cringeworthy, opportunistic, and theatrical drama queen. And I think he plays mobster way too much with the New York accent and the Italian thing going on, you know? So, yeah, he drives me nuts. I don't like the decisions he made during flu season when he put way too many elderly at risk and actually killed more than necessary by putting infected patients in old age homes. Where was the line of thought? Where was the train of thought? Where did that come from? And why? I do not like this man at all. I think he's a creep. And I'm not talking about the sexual allegations. I mean, just up until the point where he was accused, I think he's a goof. And I do not use that word lightly. He's a goof to me. I am very critical, and my judgment is unforgiving. It's something I'm working on. I'm not doing well with it. I'm working on it, but I'm not making any progress to speak of. Anyway, he came out and apologized the other day. He said straight up, I have never inappropriately touched anyone. Well, I guess that depends on what you call inappropriate. I'm not saying that he hasn't. I guess that'll all come out, although the DA that's investigating it is in Cuomo's pocket, or whoever's going to be investigating it. His tentacles go way too deep in New York. You can't find an unbiased AG or somebody to look into this, can you? Third woman accuses Cuomo, says he asked to kiss her. Well, you know what? That's how he gets dates, maybe. Maybe that's his line. Like, if I didn't ask women if I could kiss them, I'd never get any dates. Because that's how I roll. Sitting having coffee, you know, first date, getting to know the girl, lean in. Come here. I don't want to say this too loud. Lean in. Here. Can I kiss you right now? It works every time. Anyway, I saw his press conference when she came out talking about COVID, and then he said, let me address the allegations against me. And among other things, he said, I've never inappropriately touched anyone. Now, I think he's talking about like staffers, people on his campaign. Or maybe he means in general. I don't know. What's inappropriately touching someone? Making a move when they don't want you to make a move? Grabbing them by the neck? Or the small of their back and pulling them close? I guess. Anything that's unwanted, I guess, is inappropriate. Here's the thing. And I don't take this shit lightly. I believe him. I actually, like, I'd be the first guy to say this guy's a piece of garbage. Right? But I believe him when he says he's never inappropriately touched anyone on his staff. I believe him when he says, yeah, you know what, I kiss people, I hug people, it's what I do, I'm Italian. You know, I kiss them on both cheeks. Grab them by the face. I mean, what's a more intimate, like, I mean, if you really care for someone, especially if you're trying to get a message through to them, and you've got that type of relationship, what's more intimate and effective at getting their attention than holding their head in your hands? I mean, there's not, you know, try it out. When you've got something really important to say to your kid or to your husband, none of which, your partner, whoever, try it. Like, I haven't done it in a long time, but I used to do it on the regular because it matters. It's connectedness. Sometimes you need to cut through the bullshit. And if you're in a relationship with someone and there's love there, then it should convey that. Now, grabbing someone by the head at, you know, someone you barely know at a wedding and asking them if you could kiss them, okay, maybe inappropriate. Maybe, I don't know, what's another word for it? Creepy? And I'm not saying that's right. Every person has their way of, like, he's single, of approaching women, I guess. If you have any game at all, unless you just always sit back and wait for it to happen to you, and it never does. Like, sometimes you got to get out of your chair and walk across a room and say, hey, I'm Jim. Or you just ask them to marry you on Twitter like I do. I wonder how many outstanding marriage proposals I've got on Twitter. Probably a few. None ever accepted, I don't think. I have to go back. So anyways, this guy comes out and he defends himself. I'm not defending him, but I'm saying so far, and I've been fooled before, and I'm not saying don't believe women. The woman right here says, Anna Ruck, like, you don't put yourself in the limelight like this for no reason. Well, how come they didn't come before the election is what I want to know. Oh, she worked in the Biden campaign. Well, that's rich. Well, this is the one that he put his hand on his back She promptly removed his hand, which I thought would be a clear enough indicator that I was not wanting him to touch me. Cuomo called her aggressive and placed his hands on her cheeks and said, "Can I kiss you?" Well, is that sexual assault? Or is that just a dude working the room in a creepy-like fashion? Not my approach, but anyway, he's just a creepy old man, a dated, creepy, inappropriate old man. But is he a sexual harasser because of this? I don't know. Anyway, I've been fooled before. Christine Blasey Ford fooled me. Like when she testified against Judge Kavanaugh, I was like, oh, geez, this is horrible. How can you not have empathy? Well, I guess you can't have empathy, but sympathy for a woman. Oh, she was good, man. I don't believe anything she said now, but in the moment when I was watching her, I was completely moved and convinced that she was truthful. And no, like I said, I don't believe a word she said. I believed Cuomo the other night when he come up, or the other day when he did his press conference. And I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying he sounded believable to me. So that's all I know.
Thank you. And I'm happy to take questions if that's what I'm supposed to do, Nance, whatever you want me to do. Thank you. And I'm happy to take questions if that's what I'm supposed to do, Nance, whatever you want me to do.
Okay, so that was Biden. What happened? The White House cut his feed. Nancy Pelosi was the second shot in the room there. That's not showing in this clip. And that's who he refers to as Nancy Pelosi. She was at the other end of this call. And the White House just canned him. He really hasn't done a press conference himself since he was elected. What is going on at the White House, man? Nothing good. What up, Twitter? Periscope, still broadcasting at Jim Fannon. Thanks for checking it out. What up, Fakebook? Twitch, D-Live, and YouTube on the Jim Fannon Show page. I have been putting up pre-recorded segments here and there. I did a couple this week. Working on a couple interviews I didn't want to jinx at the time. But Thursday nights at 7 p.m., I try and get my ass out here, even if I'm sick, ruined, unmotivated, and in massive pain. I got out to see my Faja today. Man, I give the old man a hug. It was too long. It's bullshit. I got this new hoodie at, what is it, Giant Tigger. Don't you know it's got a neck gator in it that pulls up? It's like microfiber spandex. Wraps around your whole face, goes over your head if you wanted it to. It's fucking awesome because it doesn't hold germs. Like you breathe right through it. It's fucking, ugh, those masks are gross. Yeah, I got to see my Faja today. Way too long. This is where you find me on Facebook. What do we got going on Facebook? Oh, the Bible's next. This is a good one. This was on Crowder. There's a swab in my thingamaboo. Who wrote that? And then I had to come back. I had to. This is a classic. Before and after. They fuzzed it out. Oh, the places you'll go. And just don't tell your parents. Crowder's classic. He's on every morning on YouTube. He's doing a free show. Carole-Ann, thanks for this. You were my inspiration for the start of the show today. It just came in just before I went live. I appreciate it. Thank you. This is Kyle Dunnigan. I'm not going to play the whole thing because, well, it's his material, and I don't want to get accused of ripping it off, but I do remember this channel. No, I am already subscribed, right? Oh, no. Oh, no, I can't. Okay, good. All right, so I'm just going to go through to... I don't... this is still mine. This is funny. You got to check it out. Cuomo, it's brand new. Just search Kyle Dunnigan, okay? Look at this. The guy is hilarious, and he does these virtual masks that are bang on. His impressions are pretty tight, too. Let me see if I can pull up this line here.
I've had a few. But then again, too few to mention. Quick story. My grandfather used to talk. He killed a bunch of old people. Okay. That is all the time we have today.
Oh, where is it?
Words were, please don't touch me. I said, relax. I'm embarrassed. But,
I can't find it. I should have it. Again, I'm not going to play too much of this because I should have the timestamp. I'm sorry. I'm just super unprepared. But you got to watch this. It's only a couple minutes. 2:14.
Regrets. I've had a few. My grandfather used to tuck his genitalia underneath part, look like a genitalia underneath himself.
I can't find it. It's here, and I don't want to play too much of this because it's his material, and I don't want to get a copyright strike or something. So go check out Kyle Dunnigan. Terrence K is live. Judge orders new election after 78% of mail-in ballots found invalid. Notary arrested. Oh, I could have that a little clearer for you, right? The Epic Times. Here it is. Here's another one. WCBI.com. Judge orders new election for Ward 1 Democrat runoff in Aberdeen. This is heartbreaking right here. This is the bio of 100 people that have killed themselves during the pandemic with opioids. It's heartbreaking. Fuck. Nobody wants to talk about it, but huge problem. What up, Ren? Thank you, brother. Got Jordan Peterson's new book. It's called Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life. Be grateful in spite of your suffering. Rule 12. The final rule. I haven't got there yet, but it's increasingly difficult to listen to Jordan Peterson read his own book, like narrate his own book while he's half dead. And I mean half dead. Like, dude's been through hell and back over the last couple of years. And so he does not sound good, but some chapters are better than others. This is this is deep fake ugliness. I can't even see it. I'm not doing well with the cuts today, am I? Laura and fucking whatever his name is, that Polish guy. Check out my boy Josh Mills. Saturday, 12 p.m. EST. It's a free online broadcast. Don't Stop the Music. And Talented Singers Live Facebook page. See my Facebook page for more comments or more details. Go Mills. Mills is on a roll. Mills is on fire. Mills has some songs in the can. Mills is recording again. Mills is releasing an album. Mills is performing. Josh Mills does not suck. He's fat. He's a bastard. He's known as the fat bastard, but he's a pretty good musician. Grant LaFleche blocked me after this. Oh, Grant. Oh, Grant, why'd you block me? Just because I tagged you in a tweet? In a post? Oh, Grant, I'm hurt. Grant has blocked accounts that he shouldn't even know I control on Twitter. It took him a long time to get around to blocking me on, what's it called? Alicia Hirter, H, here on Facebook. Chrome, Artistic Barbering, is her business. Jerry Agar interviewed her on News Talk 610. They talked about Grant LaFleche, which you can't see here, and Sandor Ligetfalvy. Ligetfalvy. Sandor Liget. Wait, let's do this. Sandor Ligetfalvy. No. Ligetfalvy. Yeah. Sandor Ligetfalvy. There we go. I got it. Do I need to play this for you? It's 9
We're
minutes
back
long.
to the Jerry Agar Show on the...
What I was doing from the start, and there was a lot of malicious, defamatory articles published from the get-go, and it really turned public opinion against what I was doing. I've got this is in the works right now, but I mean, I've got a lawsuit going against this. I've got a GoFundMe right now to protect myself against this. It's been bad. He started it, eventually leading to an article.
Who started it?
Grant LaFleche from the Standard.
Now, she did say she didn't name him at first in this interview, but then Agar comes back and said, who started it? And so then she finally pulled the plug on it. So this was a 9-minute interview that went off this morning on 1010 CFRB, the sister station to our own local 610 CKTB, who will not touch this story with a 10-foot pole. I could be wrong. I don't listen to the station anymore. I find it unlistenable. The talent on that station is, well, not very talented. So I don't listen to the station, but I haven't seen anything. Usually something will come across my feed on the Facebook because they're a news station, right? So I do see some of their stuff. I just don't listen to the station. And I bet you any money they haven't done anything on this story. But Jerry Agar saw it because Joe Warmington picked it up. And then Jerry Agar picked it up after he did. I clipped it. I posted it on my Jim Fannon Show YouTube page. Trew.Tube is in the box again, as I said earlier. I think we already talked about it. The Trew.Tube channel on YouTube is in the box because I live streamed Donald Trump's CPAC speech. It's an hour and a half long. It's on hundreds of other channels, but I got the X. It was removed and appealed and rejected appeal. Somehow I figured out how to appeal it again. We'll see how that goes. So I can't broadcast live. I can't upload for another 6 days, which is why we have 2 accounts, so we can oscillate. Is that the proper word? Back and forth. And always have something going live on YouTube, even when I'm in the penalty box with one of the channels. So you can check this out. I'm not going to play the whole interview. Grant LaFleche, here's the story if you don't know it. Grant LaFleche accused Alicia, the owner of the barbershop turned film studio. Now she's doing podcasts from her chair. So you come in, you audition, you do your little segment, and what they're going to do probably is some form of reality show where you're wired for sound, you get your hair cut, and it's public, and it goes out broadcast. So, like, people watch Stranger Things. So during the flu season that we're coming out of now, Alicia Hirter went and said, okay, well, I'm a film studio now. I'm doing a podcast in addition to doing hair. And she continued to stay open through the lockdown. And that she was targeted by the media, namely Grant LaFleche and his editor, Scott. What's his name? Something Scott. Yeah, he's approving this stuff. Angus Scott, is it? Yeah, he is pretty much a hands-off editor at the paper because pretty much Grant LaFleche runs the show, it seems. So he defamed her by saying that Alicia had called for the murder and the beheading of Dr. Hirji. She never did such a thing. It's absolutely ridiculous that a comment on one of her posts, somebody said, what did it say? Put his head on a spike or something. Like, not the most peaceful phrase, but obviously a metaphor for fuck that guy. Nobody puts heads on spikes anymore. We're not calling for someone to get their head on a spike. It's a euphemism. Is that? Is it? I don't know. A metaphor? A bad, I don't know. So you can go check it out. Check them out. This is Jen Psaki. And Jen Psaki is going to respond to a reporter's question of the use Neanderthal. This is her response.
Any second thoughts about the language that he used yesterday, and how does comparing someone to a Neanderthal
Look at
help
that face.
convince them to
What a
change course and get on
smug
board with your public health
little...
message?
The behavior of a Neanderthal, just to be very clear, the behavior
The condescending vocal fry of a 12-year-old. Like, let's just remember that it's like the behavior of a Neanderthal, okay? Fuck.
Look, I think the president, what everybody saw yesterday was a reflection of his frustration and exasperation, which I think many American people have, that for almost a year now, people across the country have sacrificed. And many times they haven't had information they need from the federal government. They haven't had access to a greater understanding of what the public health guidelines should look like. And those include many, many people in Mississippi, in Texas, in Ohio, Florida, in every state across the country. And, you know, he believes that with more than 500,000 Americans' lives lost, with families that continue to suffer, that it's imperative that people listen across the country, whether they live in a red state or a blue state, to the guidance of public health experts. At the same time, you've watched the president closely for some time, Mary, as you all have.
Got a couple extras in there.
He's going to engage with and talk with people who disagree with him on a range of issues, including this one. But he believes that if we're going to get this pandemic under control, we need to follow public health guidelines. He simply was asked the American people to abide by wearing masks for 100 days. We're at about day 40. Are we at day 40? Around there. 60 more days. That's what he's asking, and he's certainly hopeful that businesses...
Shut up, Jen Psaki. You lying Psaki. You lying Psaki of shitey. Some people, no one is talking about... There is a huge black on Asian violence going on in the States, and I would assert that the Asians are not getting the best of that battle. In other words, there's a lot of black on Asian crime. There's a lot of black on Jewish crime. Easy targets. Sometimes no one's talking about it. It's not politically correct. I didn't like the way he looked at me, so I stabbed him with this knife. An Asian man is in critical condition after getting stabbed by a butcher knife in New York's Chinatown on Thursday evening. The 36-year-old local resident was attacked around 6:15 p.m. near the federal courthouse, near the corner of Worth Street and Baxter Street, next to blah, 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 blah. the victim's condition is deteriorating, he is likely to die. I'm not going to play it for you. I haven't watched this, and I'm going to save you from watching it. It says graphic, and YouTube doesn't like it when I play things like that. But nobody's talking about this. Seriously, it's a huge issue. Like, I mean, black crime is a huge issue anyway, because, well, okay, let's look at it this way. 13% of the population in the States is black. That would mean about 6.5% of that black population is male, because men mainly commit most violent crimes and most serious crimes. It's not sexist, it's just the way it is. It's a fact. And men aged, 24 to 45 are a great majority of the violent crimes in the States. So, what is the population of black men between 25 and 45 in the States? Well, if the total population is 3.5% 6.5%, then you could say what? 3%? 3% of the population is responsible and guilty of committing a majority of the violent offenses. And I'm talking a majority, like not 50% plus one, but like more like 60%, 65%. But Black Lives Matter. So what the fuck? We can't talk about that. And talk about disproportionately representing your numbers. That's racism, right? Because 3% of the population commits 60% of the crimes. That's the white person's fault. I didn't like the way he looked at me. Anyways, black on Asian crime is a big problem as well. It gets underreported, especially in California. Oh my gosh. And black on Mexican crime, huge as well. I'm not sure who's winning that battle. I would say probably the blacks. It's not. I can't even get around the blacks like that. The whites. It's brutal. It's a brutal way to I don't know, categorize someone. Gavin McInnes pulled this up on his show the other day. I was horrified by it, but sorry, I'm not doing a good job at the cuts here. I'm a racist, and I don't want to be. This white guy called the authorities on himself, he called a TV station and said, "I'm a racist, and I don't want to be anymore." Oh, fuck, bro. Like, seriously. You're probably not even racist. Okay, so let's hear what he thinks qualifies as racist. And this poor girl, cute girl, obviously half black and half white. This broke my heart because this guy thinks he's actually a racist. And, well, you judge for yourself.
Caitlin's struggle made harder by her father's racism.
He makes jokes that are not funny.
First of all, what 12-year-old daughter hasn't said this about their father? He makes jokes that aren't funny. That's because he's your dad, and to you, he's not funny. I'm funny. He makes jokes that aren't funny. Okay, yeah, all right. So, and you've already said that you've got issues with self-worth, like you're not good enough. But then when pressed further, who are you not good enough to? She says, the white man. Oh my gosh.
But he thinks are funny.
I do say racist stuff.
Okay, now he's going to tell you what he thinks is racist. Now, I don't have mixed race children. Okay? I don't have any children. But if I did, this would be a joke that I pull out all the time.
Stuff that I feel bad about now, like I'd make fun of her for like dancing or something, because she doesn't have to get a rhythm. And I'd say stuff like, so that must be the white side of you.
So she doesn't have that good a rhythm. So because her mother's black and he's white, is he even her natural father? Oh, I forgot. Doesn't matter. That's maybe not funny to the... come on, man. Like, seriously? That must be the white side of you. Because you got no rhythm. Come on.
How does it make you feel?
Uncomfortable and angry. It makes me distant.
Sure enough, at the next session, while Caitlin hardly says a word, Karina doesn't mince her words.
There's nothing wrong with being funny. The question is, at whose expense?
Humor is going to always be at somebody's expense.
Yes. That's why it's funny.
Unless it's a knock-knock joke.
If jokes are race-related, class-related, gender-related, like should...
You know, I always worry about... I don't worry about... But this girl's 12 years old. She's got more facial tics than I've seen, like, ever on anyone normal. Is that not speaking to... I don't know. What are facial tics? Are they habits? Are they nervous things?
Not habits.
Like, she's on camera. I get it, but...
it. Like,
she seems like she's
I'm actually being offensive.
Okay with it.
And I don't care.
But isn't it the perception of how the person's taking it?
If it has a history of oppression and hurt.
That must be the white side of you? That carries a history of oppression and hurt? Oh, fuck. Where are we going?
In this country, I would offer there's nothing funny about it.
You know what? That's because you killed comedy. All right? Comedy's dead because everything's offensive and we can't pull out the race card anymore. We can't call someone one of those fun pet names that is a derogatory, slur on their nationality because, ooh, racism. No, just because I call you a racial slur doesn't make me a racist. It makes me funny. And you should send it right back because it's fun. I mean, this is what boys do, okay? Like, at least we used to be able to joke.
So I need to look at why I think it's funny?
Yes.
Okay.
But now,
Why,
that makes more sense to me.
And why?
Now we're just left to knock-knock jokes, like you said.
Why is going to...
Anyways, heartbreaking that we've come this far. We've come this far. We're more tolerant than we've ever been. We're less racist than we've ever been. We're more loving, more open, more tolerant of different ways of being. For crying out loud. We're accommodating 65 new genders. Like, we've never been this tolerant. We've never been this open to new ideas. We've never been this accepting. Ever. We're better than we've ever been. But no, the media just wants you to hear that white supremacy is the problem. No, it's not Black Lives Matter. It's not Antifa who rioted for 100 straight days because George, Michael, Brown, George Floyd overdosed on fentanyl. A convicted, hardened criminal that held a gun to a pregnant woman's belly while his homies pistol whipped her and then they went on to rob her home. Doesn't speak to a good man that was in the middle of a fraudulent act, passing a counterfeit bill, caught with a police body cam, with a tab of fentanyl on his tongue. No wonder he was so sketched out when the cops came up to him. And get this, he resisted arrest for a half hour. They didn't just jump on his neck and suffocate the man. He resisted arrest for a half hour. He was in a what do they call it? Excited delirium? He's overdosing. He said 5 times before they even got him in the cruiser. They got him in the back seat, and then they pulled him out the other door before he went on the ground with the knee on the back of his neck. Again, not cool. Probably excessive force. I get it. Shit happens in the moment of a half-hour resisting arrest. He said 5 times before he was on the ground, "I can't breathe." There was no one touching him. He couldn't breathe in the car. There was no one on him. "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe." Yeah, because you're overdosing, dude. Yeah, unfortunate death. No one wants to see excessive force coming from our police on anyone, ever. Inexcusable. Murder? I don't know how they get a conviction on that one. Stop doing the crimes and stop resisting arrests. And guess what? You'll live. End of story. It's a better time than we've ever seen. And you people want us to believe that white supremacy is the problem. It's not cool. This is pretty funny. Puppetgate. This is from the site Infowars.com. That's Alex Jones's website, obviously. I'm just, where's the clip? Did I play the clip already? Yeah. All right, I'll just give you a little sample.
Influential publications in the world has come out in a false report and claimed that a Howard Stern puppet show event last year that was making fun of me was real and attributed the quotes to me that they are now trying to use in court to take my children.
Infowars.com is tomorrow's news today.
The hits, they don't stop. Can you believe this? The Daily Mail publishes a hit piece article attacking Alex Jones, going so far as to attribute quote from a puppet show and a Howard Stern skit to the T-Rex of political talk. I mean, where do you go? Where do you go from here when we're just so far gone already? Is there any hope for us to even come back? All right, what else? Mark Dice is a beauty. Go check him out. He's on Facebook and YouTube almost every day. He comes out, well, weekdays, he comes out with a new video. Check out Mark Dice. The Washington football team, formerly known as the Redskins, replaces cheerleaders with, you guessed it, a co-ed dance team. A COVID dance team? There it is. This is Clown Town. There's no end to it. Did you see the rocket explode? So here's SpaceX. Rocket comes down. Just a minor flesh wound. Oops, sorry about this. I'm not doing well today. What happened? Oh. How did they re-land these things? They took this thing up 10 kilometers into the air and then brought it back down, and then it blew up on the launch pad. No one was injured. No one was on board, but this is a spaceship. I called it a rocket, but it's actually a spaceship. I guess they call it. What do they call it? Something. Minor detail that has to be ironed out. A good one. And last night, if you haven't seen it already, I'll force it down your throat. This is one of the funniest men on the planet. And I've been a caller on many a talk show, mostly local. Sometimes I get on national shows. I was actually on Larry King's show a couple times as a caller when I was a child, like in grade 10. Not child, but whatever. Grade 10. Grade 10, 11, or 12, something like that. I called Larry King. I got on. I recorded it. I probably got the tape somewhere. I was shaky. My voice is peaking. And Then I had a pretty successful run as a caller on Tom McConnell's show on 610 CKTB, so much so that I won Caller of the Year multiple times in a row, and I worked my way onto the station with my own show. Now when I call the station, I talk to Greg, and I go on hold forever, and then I just hang up out of frustration because I guess Tom doesn't want to talk to me. I called to wish him Merry Christmas just before his last day. And I held through the whole last segment while he read a bunch of email and then went to another caller and then ended the show. And you can see I'm on hold. You can see who the callers are. I have a name and a number. It comes up on the board. Well, it kind of hurts. Well, kind of thought we were friends. But I've lost more than just that. Anyway, last night I got on. Last night he was taking more callers, so he took calls for almost a full 2 hours. Usually only does it from 10 to 11. There's so many people calling in that between 10 and 11 it's really hard to get through. And there's only about 35 lines coming into the board that Ryan Katsu Rivera answers, Asian Pat Dixon. And but last night I called, and I was like the third call. And this is what happens. See, the show host has complete control over the show. I used to love being the show host when I had callers because you can run them anytime. You can shut them up anytime. You can talk over them. You can change the subject. And Gavin does all of that to me. Let's see if
Jim swearing.
What's happening here? Fuck off.
Jim, you're on the line.
Jim,
Hi, Jim.
Jim, you are on the line.
Hello, my bedwetting buddy and Father Felcher of the Fat Zone. I sent you a link over. I know you probably don't care about Canadian politics all that much, and I can't really blame you that much, even though I'll probably run as a candidate in the spring if there's an election.
Hey, whatever happened to your girlfriend that you're going to marry?
He's like, oh, fuck this guy again.
I might, yeah.
Jim? What happened to your girlfriend,
Yeah,
eh?
I might, I haven't talked to her in a little while. I might not be able to collect that C note that you offered up.
Looks like you're not getting married after all.
Listen, no, I haven't made contact recently. I've been a bad online fiance. Anyways, Prime Minister Cuck Trudeau once.
Wait a minute. I've been a bad online fiance. So you guys are still engaged in your mind. You just haven't been attentive enough.
Well, I don't know, bro. I don't know how to describe it. It's a long-distance relationship.
I know how to describe it. Complete bullshit, which is what I called when you first brought it up. Anyway, thanks for calling, buddy. Oof.
Oof is right.
And that's the end. Harsh. That's the end of the free portion of our show. So you can see what it's like.
It's harsh.
When you pay. This is what happens.
Just run me right off the road. He will not let this bit die. It's fine. I think it's fun. Like it used to be funny. It's a lot less funny than it used to be. I called in one time. I said, Gavin, it's on my YouTube channel somewhere. I'm like, dude, I met this girl online in the YouTube section of one of your videos. She says, hey, fellow Gavin fan. I'm saying, hey, that was my mother's name. She had this picture of a George Michael eye from Father Figure or something, like the eye of one of the girls, like really close up as her avatar. I'm like, that eyes really, you're hot. Joking around, and then next thing you know, we're on the phone on the regular. And now I've never met the woman. I've seen about a 4-second clip of her walking through the door of a business complex for a promo she did. Hashtag Claudia. But now when I call in, I'm going to have to call in and disguise my voice because this fucking dweeb won't let the bit go. And I don't want every time I call in to be about the bit. Gavin. Oh, by the way, put my show on your station, Gavin. All right. Babies are racist. Cancel babies. That's a great fucking time to get out of here, eh? Nasty Knuckles. Check out the episode that Riley Cote does with Chris Pronger. Here Here's an Ontario Conservative MP calls for the end to the lockdowns, and he wants the entire province in the green zone. Good call, and you'll be looking for a job tomorrow because Doug Ford does not put up with people that dissent. He fires them. And this is the Neanderthal thinking quote.
Texas, I think it's a big mistake. Look, I hope everybody's realized by now, these masks make a difference. We are on the cusp of being able to fundamentally change the nature of this disease because of the way in which we're able to get vaccines in people's arms.
First of all, no, the masks are not effective. Or if they were, we wouldn't have seen the spike in cases. If the masks were effective, we'd have it under control now because you've convinced, and Trudeau have convinced everyone in North America basically to wear a mask everywhere they go, even outside. Today, driving through Welland, I saw some loser with a mask and a shield walking down the middle of King Street. She looked like a heroin addict. Okay, so you're killing yourself with heroin, but you're afraid of dying of COVID. Also, Joe, don't touch the mask, because if there's an infection in the mask, you're activating it and putting it on your hands and then touching other things with it. You're not supposed to touch your mask, and they're single use. You throw them out when you're done. You don't reuse them. When you take them off, you put a new one on. Losers. They don't work. Especially if you're touching them all the time.
We've been able to move that all the way up to the end of May to have enough for every American, to get every adult American to get a shot.
Who's lining up for this shot? Who's taking this experimental vaccine that has no human trials? They rushed it? Hey, it was a miracle. An absolute medical miracle that Trump got this approved. And he dismantled all the regulations to get it to the market as quick as possible. I guess probably a wise thing to do. But I am not signing up for it. I am not taking the flu shot, and I'm not taking an experimental vaccine. They're up to 2 million a day now. He promised 1 million a day for 100 days, 100 million people vaccinated. Guess what pace they were on when he took office? 1 million a day. Well, that's a great stretch there, Joe. Yeah, you're ahead of schedule. Well, you were already vaccinating at 1 million a day rate when you became president, you weirdo.
The last thing we need is the Neanderthal thinking that in the meantime everything's fine. Take
Neanderthal thinking. So you're not a Neanderthal. I'm not calling you a Neanderthal. It's Neanderthal thinking. That's like, try this one at home. Stop acting like a bitch. Try that. Load that one on your lady when you get home and when she's cranky and she's hungry and she's ragging on you for something, right? Stop acting like a bitch. And when she says, don't call me a bitch, I said, I didn't call you a bitch. I said, you were acting like one. You're not a bitch, but you're acting like one. You see how that doesn't work? It's like Neanderthal thinking. I'm not calling you a Neanderthal. I said you suffer from Neanderthal thinking. Neanderthals for their time actually were pretty bright. I don't know exactly how. We always use Neanderthal in a derogatory way of saying like caveman, like old way of thinking, but I mean they're extinct, so they mustn't have been that bright. But still, they preceded Homo sapien, right? Or was a Neanderthal? No, I don't think, was Neanderthal Homo sapien? It was right at the cusp. If it was, it was right at the beginning. It was one of the first ones to walk upright. I don't think the Neanderthal is actually Homo sapien. I'll have to do some research on that.
Forget it. It still matters.
No,
I carry a card.
It doesn't matter, Joe. What matters is that you have dementia and you're dying a rapid death right in front of our eyes. And now that we can't see your stuttering mouth behind that or your twitches, you're all hidden. I hate carving on this guy because it's just not fair. It's targeting elder abuse, and I'll probably get locked in YouTube jail for even commenting on this because it's probably false and deceptive practices. The man is obviously perfectly coherent for sure. What the fuck is cogent? That's it. I'm out of here. It's ugly. It's Thursday night. I usually come out here at 7 o'clock. You know what I'm going to do? I haven't cruised my news feed today. So let's do this. Let's load up some M-Phaktor, and we'll go for a little cruise. Peace. Love. Hug your neighbor. And take that damn filthy, dirty diaper off your face, your beautiful face, that beautiful smile. Show children your expression. Show your neighbors. Show the checkout girl your beautiful face. Stop complying. Start defying. It's not working. Think for yourself. Do your own research. I love you. And I am out. I'm working on Matea Murda for another interview. She stands for women and children. She's bright, beautiful. She's got stones, man. Coming up soon. I don't know when. I'm working on it.